Good morning, children. In the previous class, we have studied about different types of monsoons. So, two major type of monsoons experienced in our country. There are the advancing monsoon and the retreating monsoon. So, these are the rainy seasons experienced almost 6 months within our country. So, today let us study about advancing monsoon or the first rainy season which is experienced from the South India and later it spreads all over India. So by the early June, the low pressure conditions over the northern plains which intensifies or increases in the early June, so that it attracts the trade winds in the southern hemisphere. So the low pressure which attracts the trade winds in the southern hemisphere, so that winds originate over the warm subtropical areas of the southern ocean. So they cross these winds which are originating in the southern oceans, crossing the equator and blowing in the southwesterly direction. We know India's position is in the northern hemisphere. So these winds which are blowing from the warm tropical areas of the southern ocean, they are crossing the equator. That means it is advancing towards India, especially towards the South India. So they blow over the southwesterly direction. That means entering the southwestern region of India. That is especially the first state or the land touches is the Kerala. So that it approaches the southwest direction in the Indian peninsula, so that it is called the southwest monsoon, especially which is blowing towards the southwestern part of India, extreme southwestern. So the Kerala coast receives the first rainfall or first monsoon in the advancing monsoon in the early June. So these monsoons which are touching the Indian peninsula is known as the southwest monsoon. So when these winds blow over the warm oceans, they bring abundant moisture to the subcontinent. Because it is passing through the equatorial regions, so that the oceans are also warm here. So that these trade winds are bringing the hot winds and moisture towards the Indian subcontinent. So they are strong and blowing in an average velocity of 30 kilometers per hour. Very strong winds, and also this is about 30 kilometers per hour it blows. Okay, so some exemption, we know that the extreme northwestern part of our country, where is the extreme northwest, then the region of Rajasthan. This region, the monsoon, except these regions, the northwestern part of our country, Rajasthan region, other parts of India, this wind covers, so that all except these regions, except Rajasthan region, all over India there is monsoon rainfall occurring. So inflow of the southwest monsoon into India brings about a total change in the weather. From the early June onwards, the complete, we know that it is the summer season. So May is the summer, say April, May is the summer season, so that complete changes in the weather also taking place because of these winds are blowing towards India, towards the mainland of India. So early in the season, we know the windward side of the Western Ghats. So, in India, the western regions, we have western coastal area, we have the Western Ghat or the Sahyadri mountains. So the windward side, where from the coastal area the wind is blowing towards the windward side of the Western Ghats, receive heavy rainfall, more than 250 centimeters. The other region, we know that after the Sahyadri mountains or the Western Ghats mountain, we have the plateau region, that is the Deccan plateau region, that is the leeward side, or we can say the rain shadow area. Okay, so the windward side is the Western Ghats region, which is facing towards the coastal areas, the west coastal region. And after the Western Ghats, we have the plateau region or the Deccan plateau region, that is the rain shadow region. In this rain shadow region, we also monsoon occurs, but comparatively less. Received the at the same time, the same like the windward side of the Western Ghats, northeastern regions of the country also receive heavy rainfall. Northeastern regions of the country, we know Monsoon, which is in the southern ranges of the Khasi Hills in Meghalaya, receives the highest rainfall in the world. This is also not only in India, in the world also. This is the wettest place, Monsoon in Meghalaya, that is located in the Khasi Hills. Same like the Western Ghats region, the Monsoon or the northeastern part of our country also receives the heavy rainfall due to this advancing monsoon, or it's also known as the southwestern monsoon. So rainfall in the Ganga Valley decreases from east towards west. That means towards west, which means approaching towards the Rajasthan region. So the or the northwestern part of Uttar Pradesh also. So these regions monsoon rainfall decreases from east towards west. Monsoon rainfall decreases, especially Rajasthan and parts of Gujarat get very less rainfall or scanty rainfall from the southwest monsoon. So here another phenomena associated with this monsoon is the tendency to have breaks in rainfall, not continuous rainfall occurring. There are some particular intervals or the breaks in the advancing monsoon also. So it has a wet and dry spells. Sometimes it rains for a few days, then it stops also. In other words, the monsoon rains take place only for a few days at a time. It's not continuously raining. For few days it rains, then it stops, so that there are some breaks in between the season. So these breaks in the monsoon are related to the movement of the monsoon trough. For various reasons, we know that this trough and its axis keep on moving northward or southward, which determines the spatial distribution of rainfall here. So this movement of axis from different direction also influences the rainfall or the pattern of rainfall and the amount of rainfall in this area. So here there are also some changes. Himalayas are long dry spells in the plains also. Widespread rain occur in the mountainous catchment regions of the Himalayan rivers. What are the catchment regions of the Himalayan rivers? Indus or the river Ganga. These are all originating from the Himalayas. So the areas where it is on the both sides of the rivers, they are the catchment area where it heavily rainfall occurs during this southwest monsoon or the advancing monsoon also. At the same time, we can find out that devastating floods are also common during this period, damaging the life and property of the plains. We know northern plains, there is a dense population, and agriculture also is very prosperous in this region. So here during this period, these floods occur. Due to that, crops are also damaging, life and property. These both are large scale destruction occur during the southwest monsoon or the advancing monsoon season. So here we know also sometimes depressions form at the head of the Bay of Bengal, and crops over the mainland also will be destroyed. So some depressions we know that fall also causing heavy damage. Because of these depressions occurring in the oceans cause heavy damage to the crops also. So monsoon is also not regular sometimes. Another feature of this advancing monsoon is it is uncertain. There are some uncertainties. It's not sure that a particular time the monsoon occurs or how long it takes place. Sometimes there are short monsoon season also, shortage in the rainfall also, because sometimes excessive rainfall also occurring during this monsoon season. So from the afternoon afterwards we can find out there are also some frequency and duration also differ in the monsoon. So heavy floods in one part when occurs, some other regions we can find out extreme droughts also. We have studied already example of Western Rajasthan region or the Western Uttar Pradesh region and Rajasthan region. These regions have completely dried areas, then the other parts of our country gets a flood flood, at the same time droughts also occurring. That is depending upon the different type of topography of our country. We know that northern regions are extremely Himalayan mountains, and northwestern part of our country has a Thar desert, and South India is a peninsular region. Three sides are surrounded by water. So all these different types of topography exist in our country. That is completely dependent upon this topography, the rainfall or monsoon, or different varieties or different types of climatic conditions exist in our country. So these are the reasons of different monsoon variations also occur in different parts of our country. It is not equal, okay, unequal distribution of rainfall occurring in our country. So sometimes irregular, the monsoon also is irregular, and its arrival and retreat also differ. Sometimes early arrival occurs and late also, so that its retreating monsoon also becomes early or late. So these are causing the disturbance to the farmers or farming schedule of millions of farmers all over the country. We know that India is an agricultural country. Our farmers look at the sky for monsoon rainfall, but if it is late or if it is early also, this causes great damage to the agricultural crops in our country. So in the coming class we will study more about the retreating monsoon or the post monsoon, when the monsoon winds are changing its direction.